हेलो इग्नू पॉइंट, कैसे हैं आप सब? आई होप आप सब अच्छे होंगे. तो वी आर बैक विद अनदर एक्सप्लेनेशन वीडियो ऑफ कोर्स कोड MMPC-002 Human Resource Management. So there are 5 questions we have to explain. Question 1. Explain the factor that influence organizational environment, citing relevant examples. Factor that influence organizational environment. Government regulation. Government rules are present. HR is continually under pressure to follow the law with the introduction of new workplace compliance with regard to workers, and the workplace. All HR departmental processes, including hiring, training, remuneration, termination, and many others, are impacted by these kind of legislation. A business that doesn't follow these rules may incur heavy fines, which in extreme cases could force the business to close. Economic conditions. One of the biggest external influences is the shape of the current economy. Not only does it affect the talent pool, but it might affect your ability to hire anyone to all. One of the biggest ways to prepare against economic condition is to not only know what's happening in the world around you, but also create a plan for when there is an economic downturn. All companies can make do in a bad economy if they have a rainy day fund or plan to combat the harsh environment. Technological advancement. Since the HR department may start considering downsizing and cost-saving measures when new technologies are developed. This is regarded as an external impact. A task that previously required 2 to 4 persons might be completed by one person. Technology is transforming how we conduct business, and not just from the perspective of the consumers, but also in terms of internal cost reduction. Workforce demographics. As the older generation retires and new generation enters the workforce, the human resources department must look for ways to attract this new set of candidates. They must hire by adapting different methods and offer different types of compensation package that work for this younger generation. All the same time, they must offer a conducive work environment. Legal factors like organizational health, trading, competition, and regulations from legal firms directly affect a business. Political factors include government funding, initiative and grants, political instability, taxation, and relationship with other governments impact directly on human resources practices. Therefore, it is important to check these factors prior to establish an operation. Economic factor. Organizations are directly impacted by economic issues as government and consumer spending, interest rates, exchange rates, unemployment, and inflation. Higher interest rates discourage investment since they make borrowing more expensive. Commodity price inflation may lead to higher wage demands from employees, which would increase the company's operating expenses. A wider market for the company's product will also be created by a rise in disposable income. Social factor. Among the social aspects that have an impact on business operations are lifestyle, ethics, demographics, education, and culture. Any change in this variable will have a stronger impact on both the availability of a workforce eager to work for the company and the demand for products. Recognizing the local culture aids HRM in creating a culture that fits in with its surroundings. Social changes have an impact on organizational culture and have made it possible for business to accept cultural diversity. To properly confront their employees, HR professionals need to stay current on social trends. Organization size. The size of the business significantly affects HR producers. More complicated HR producers are used in larger companies. The scope of HR initiative is expanded for large companies like multinational or international ones. To put it another way, small business typically have human management duties which may be straightforward or less involved. The size of the firms determines the management style, whether Autocratic or democratic. Organizational structures, business strategies, organization culture. Discuss different forms of mobility in an organization. Form of mobility in an organization. Promotion. Promotion can be defined more simply as an upward movement within a current position that result in more duties, a higher social status, and a higher wage. Depending on the needs of the organization, promotion may be either temporary or permanent. Promotion is the transfer of an employee to a job that pays more money or one that carries some preferred status. Claim Clothier and Sprigel. Promotion fosters self-development and generates enthusiasm of the position. According to Yoder, promotion provides incentives and initiatives, enterprise and ambitions, minimizes discontent and unrest, attract capable individuals, necessitates logical advancement, and forms an effective reward for loyalty and cooperation. Long service. Every organization should make advanced plans for promotion program. A carefully planned promotion programs has 4 elements: formulation of promotion policy, identification of promotion channel, promotion appraisal, and centralized record. The term demotion describes the reduction of the employee's status, pay, and responsibilities. In an organization, promotion is employed as a disciplinary action. Habitual patterns of behavior that result in demotion include breaking the rules and conduct, having a low attendance record, and may be insubordinate. Demotion is described as the assignment of an individual to a job of lower rank and pay, usually involving lower level of difficulty and responsibility. By Beach, 1975, Yoder, Hanneman, Turnbull, and Stone has suggested a 5-fold policy with regards to demotion practice. A clear and responsible list of rules should be framed, violation of which would subject an employee to demotion. This information should be clearly communicated to employees. There should be a competent investigation of any alleged violation. If violations are discovered, there should be a consistent and equitable application of the penalty, preferably by the immediate. There should be a provision for review. Transfer. A transfer is when an employee moves from one job section, department, shift, plant, or position to another at the same or a different location while maintaining the same salary, status, and responsibilities. Transfer is described as a lateral shift causing movement of individual from one position to another, usually without involving marked change in duties, responsibilities, skills needed, or compensation. By Yoder and colleagues in 1958. Either the employer or the employee may start the transfer. It can also be either short-term or long-term. Employee transfer may be classified as below. Production transfers. Such transfers are made to meet the company requirements. The surplus employees one department section who are efficient might be absorbed in other place where there is a requirement. Such transfer help to stabilize employment. Replacement transfer. This takes place to replace a new employee who has been in the organization for a long time and thereby giving some relief to an old employee from the heavy pressure of work. Versatile transfer. It is also known as rotation. It is made to develop all-round employees by moving them from one job to another. It also helps to reduce boredom and monotony. Personal or remedial transfer. Such a transfer is made to rectify mistake in selection and placement. As a follow-up, the wrongly placed employee is transferred to a more suitable job. Shift transfer. This is a pretty common where there is more than one shift and when there is regularized rotation. Explain the problem in human resources planning and state measures to handle them. The process by which management decides how to move an organization from its existing manpower position to its intended manpower position is known as human resources planning. According to E.W. Better, planning enables management to ensure that the appropriate personnel and present at the appropriate times and location to carry out tasks that will provide the most long-term benefit to both the business and the individual. It is described as a process of determining and ensuring that the organization will have an adequate number of qualified persons available at the appropriate time performing jobs which meet the needs of the enterprise and which provide satisfaction of the individual involved. By Delhi S. Beach. Problem in human resource planning. The people perceive people are available in abundance in our labor surplus economy. Then why to spend time and money in forecasting human resources? Surprisingly, this perceptions about human resources planning is also held by the top management. Another people in human resource planning is that the demand for the supply of human resources is not 100% accurate. Experience suggested that longer the time horizon for forecasting human resource requirement, greater is the possibility in inaccuracy in estimate of human resources needs. Various types of uncertainties like labor turnover, absenteeism, seasonal employment, market fluctuation, and changes in technology render human resource planning ineffective. The reason being these uncertainties make human resource forecasts mere a guess for far from reality. Sometimes human resources planning suffers from a conflict between quantitative and qualitative approach used for it. Generally, human resources personnel and perceived as expert in handling personal matters, but they are not expert more than often. Hence, human resources requirement estimated by such people are not realistic ones. The organizational plans based on such estimates are endangered to be flopped. As a human resources planning is based on data relating to human resources, the same is not maintained in a proper manner in some of the industrial organizations. Then, in the absence of reliable data, it becomes difficult to develop effective human resources plans. In some and substances, problems in human resources planning arise both from inherent limitations of forecasting on the one hand and from weakness of human that do it on the other, but both can be overcome. Measure to handle problems in human resources planning. Tailor-made HRP should be balanced with corporate objectives. Appropriate time. The period of HRP process should be appropriate to the needs and circumstances of an organization. Adequate organizations HRP process should be adequately properly organized. Top management supports participation information system balanced focus. For career planning is necessary for employees. Explain the condition which career planning can be effective in organization. Career planning is necessary for employees. Helping people plan their career based on their capacities and the needs of the company is the essence of career planning. If it is defined as creating an organizational framework that allows for career advancement and growth responsibilities from the time a person begins working until the time of their retirement. It is commonly accepted that it is a management strategy for planning the full career of young employees in the more skilled administrative and managerial position. Thus, it involves the identification and development of skill as well as their planned use and subsequent redeployment. It has been referred to as the regulation of blue-eyed occupation by certain organizational writers. It is also described as a process of synthesizing and harmonizing the needs of the organization with the innate inspiration of the employee so that will the later realize self-fulfillment, the former effectiveness is improved. Condition under which career planning can be effective in organization. Business enterprise should be expanding if career planning is to be feasible, as in such organization long-term projection of the requirement of the HR and can provide ample opportunities for vertical mobility or promotion. An organization must have clear corporate goals for the ensuing 5, 10, and 15 years, and on the basis of its corporate plans, it should conduct analysis periodically to determine the types of changes, its function, activities, procedures, technologies, and materials. If this is not done, an organization cannot develop the manpower development system, thus reducing the need of career planning. The success of a career planning programs depending on having motivated, goal-oriented, engaged staff. An organization can foster an environment and demonstrate sincere interest in the growth of its staff. But the staff member must be eager to take advantage of the opportunities and resources provided. Selection of right person for the right job is an essential prerequisite for career planning. The right person should not only be qualified and have necessary experience for the job applied for, but he or she should also have enough potential and urge to develop and grow further in the organization. Maintaining an appropriate age balance in career planning is also essential to prevent quick promotions and promotion blockage brought on by an age structure that is too skewed towards either youth or old age. Management of career stress. Many employees deal with workplace stress, which hurts both their careers and the reputation of the company. Such stress may show up as apathy, withdrawal, unhappiness, abstention, and increased risk of accident, hypertension, and heart disease. Stress management programs that will help them regain control and address uncertainties. The management can also help him or her by increasing the level of participation in the season and that clearly affect how and when one does his or her job, or by making him or her aware to what other jobs one can switch over and how gainfully one can keep oneself occupied after retirement. Career planning will be made effective when it takes the form of a fair promotion policy supported by systematic training for those who are trainable, willing, and eager to learn a higher skill. Write a comprehension on the growth of trade union movement and membership in India. Also indicate the current status of major trade unions of India. The growth of trade union movement and membership in India early period. During the early stage of industrial growth, social workers, philanthropists, and other religious leaders made efforts to organize the workplace for their well-being, primarily out of humanitarian concern. On the basis of the suggestion made by the Bombay Factory Commission in 1875, the first Factories Act was passed in 1881. The workers of the Bombay textile industry wanted less hours of work, weekly rest days, midday breaks, and the compensation for injuries due to the Act's restriction. N.M. Lokhande served as a leader. The Bombay Mill Owners Association agreed that a weekly holiday was necessary. Consequently, Lokhande established the first worker union in India in 1890 in the name of Bombay Mill Hands Association. A labor journal called Dinabandhu was also published. Some of the important unions established during the period are Amalgamated Society of Railway Servants of India and Burma, Management, the Printers Union, Kolkata, and the Bombay Postal Union, the Kamgar Hita Vardhak Sabha, and the Social Service League. But these unions were treated as ADHOC bodies and could not serve the purpose of the trade unions. Modest beginning. Following the country's entry into World War I, the modest beginning of the labor movement began. The present-day political, social, and economic circumstances had an impact on India's trade union movement. The creation of the International Labour Organization in 1990 aided in the development of trade unions in the nation. In 1919, the Madras Labour Union was established systematically. Several labour unions were founded between 1919 and 1923. Mahatma Gandhi was served as an inspiration of the creation of category-specific union in Ahmedabad, such as the Spinners Union and the Weavers Union. Later, these unions merged to become the Ahmedabad Textile Labour Association and Industrial Union. This union has been formed on systematic lines and has been functioning on sound lines based on the Gandhian philosophy of mutual trust, collaboration, and non-violence. All Indian Trade Union Congress. The All India Trade Union Congress AITUC, which was established as a result of a need to choose delegates of the International Labour Organization, was founded in 1914, making it most significant year in the history of the Indian trade union movement. This is the nation's first All India Trade Union. Lala Lajpat Rai presides over the IUTUC's inaugural meeting, which took place in Bombay in October of 1940. The All India Railwaymen's Federation, which was founded in 1922 as a result of the creation of IUTUC, it had many company railway union as member. During this time, militant tendencies and revolutionary ideologies were visible. Current status of major trade union of India, roughly 70 federation and confederation registered under the Trade Union Act of 1926 are among the roughly 9,000 trade union in the nation, which also includes unregistered union in the organized industrial sector. There is a significant amount of unionization in the rural and the unorganized sectors. It is significant despite the fact that there are now a lot more unions than there were 40 years ago. Union membership has not expanded at the same rate. According to the National Commission on Labour, just 131 union have more than 5,000 members. More than 70% of the union has less than 500 members. The average number of union members has decreased steadily over time from roughly 1387 in 1943 to 632 in 1992 to 1993. Pocket Book of Labour Statistics 1997, union with a membership of over 1,400 constitute roughly 4% of the total union in the country. There is a high degree of unionization in coal, cotton, textile, iron and steel, railways, cement, banking, insurance, ports and docks and tobacco sector, while collar unions have also increased significantly, covering officers, senior, executive, managers, civil servants, self-employed professions like doctor, lawyers, trades, etc. for safeguarding their interests. So यहाँ हमारा assignment खत्म होता है. If you have any query, you can WhatsApp us, or which is given in the description box. Thank you.